And then he just broke off into a full speed run after my car. And I was like, oh, snack time. Hello lovers and welcome back to Travel Snacks. So I woke up early this morning, had to go pee, so I had to rush over to Walmart, go do that, and now I caught a glimpse of myself in my rearview mirror and I'm looking rough. I am actually looking like I live in my car. One problem is that I went to Planet Fitness to get my shower. Like, I got there so early that I was like, well, I'll just lay in the back seat for a while. And I wanted to go in and do a workout and then get my shower, but I wanted to do it later in the evening because I wanted to just, be fresh and clean and then get ready to go to bed. So I went in to Planet Fitness about 6:50 at night and had her scan my card. And then she's like, oh, by the way, just so you know, we close at 7 p.m. It's 6:50. I said, why are you closing? She goes, oh, we close Fridays and Saturdays at 7. Shoot. I went in real fast, went to the bathroom, and then I was like, man, like, do I have time to take a shower? So I hurry up, strip down, and go jump in the shower. I was trying to wait for the water to get hot. I would have even been satisfied with warm, but it never got warm. So I basically just had to use my washcloth and just clean up my private parts real quick. And then I could hear them coming into the locker room, trying to shut things down. So I only got a chance to do a quick little rinse, and it was freezing, by the way. I didn't get to wash my hair, and now I just feel grimy and gross. So I'm about to go to Planet Fitness this morning and get a good hot shower and get my day poppin'. Then I'll come back and talk to you guys about the random things of Vancouver or Canada, and one of the only times that I've been super creeped out and scared on this trip. Stay tuned. Okay, I got my shower and I'm feeling all clean. So for the story time, I'm going to be snacking on these dark chocolate covered almonds from Walmart. They're delicious. Let me know in the comments what you're snacking on. Today, I'm going to be talking about different oddities of Canada that I noticed in Vancouver. I'm also going to be talking about how I got chased by a cyborg. I'll tell you at the end, so you got to stay to the end. So the first thing is, I'm driving through Canada and I see a gas station because I need to get gas. All of the gas stations have the signs that say how much it is, but on theirs it says $139.9. I'm like, it's not $139 per gallon. Are they doing it by cents? If you're Canadian, you're probably laughing at me because I don't know. When I went to go get gas, it was just a regular 3 something per gallon. So why not just put that on the sign? Make it easier. Another weird thing. I went through the McDonald's drive-thru and I ordered a large drink. And the gal at the ordering box was like, okay, that'll be $2.60. And I'm like, you don't have $1 for any size drinks? And she's like, no. That's a hit that McDonald's came out with. I noticed that a lot of things in Canada, they're expensive and they don't have the deals that we have. Along those same lines, I went to Denny's, and 2 things. First is, I mentioned this on my Snacks of Vancouver video. So if you haven't seen that, go check it out. But I went to Denny's and I ordered a pancake and saw the syrup on the table, went to pour it, and it poured out just that liquid gold. It was so thin and watery, but that's the pure maple syrup. And I was like, oh, this is gonna be good. But the thing that I did not like is that they don't have the 2, 4, 6, 8 menu like they do in America. Now, for those of you that don't know, Denny's has a special little menu. Now, if you go into Denny's in America, they're gonna bring you the big giant menu plus their specials menu. Put that to the side. You know where they have the little dessert menus on the side there, kind of where the syrup is? Well, that's IHOP. Where they have the salt and stuff. There's this little section where they put little special pamphlets back there. In there, there's a separate little menu, and if you open that, you'll see that they have a 2, 4, 6, 8 menu. So there's a lot of different options. I think there's a pancake breakfast for $4. The one I usually get is $8, but they just bumped it up to $8.99. So really, they've kind of fooled you back into spending the traditional monies. But it's actually worth it because it's a French toast breakfast. It comes with French toast, eggs, hash browns, meat, coffee, and orange juice. $8.99. It's cheap. And so when you go in there and you just want something light, I always order the 2, 4, 6, 8 menu. When I went to the Denny's in Vancouver, I asked if they had that, and she's like, no. All I want is 1 pancake and a side of fries. And she's like, okay, so what I'm gonna do? She was super nice. So she's like, I'm only gonna charge you for a 2-egg breakfast. So it ended up being about $4 because everything else on their menu, I'm not kidding, was $12 and $13. Another thing is that in Canada, they call their bathrooms washrooms. So that got me on a little tangent of thinking about the way we all call going to the toilet. If you think about it, bathroom is not correct because there's no bath. I mean, at home there is, but I'm just talking about public public bathrooms. There's no bath. You're not taking a bath. Now, you can call them washrooms, which they do in Canada, but you're not really washing your butt when you're going to the toilet. Now, some people call them restrooms, but you're not really resting except for if you are taking a long time on the toilet. So I'm not sure why we don't just call them toilet rooms. That seems more legit. That's just a weird thought in my mind. Another thing I noticed when I was at Walmart, you come into a grocery store and there's like all the bank of baskets. Well, this one they had like a bunch of chains, like chaining all the baskets together. So I was like, what is this? You can't get a basket? So I look up and there's this giant sign and it has like 3 steps. So go to the register, pay $1, get a token, come back and get your basket with the token. When you check out bringing the basket, then you get your $1 token back, or I don't know if you get a token or you get your dollar. I was like, that's actually really smart, because you know how people sometimes steal baskets. It's super inconvenient for the consumer, but for the store, it's very smart. Those baskets cost a lot of money, I'm sure. I think Americans would be pissed. Most people don't even put the basket back into like the basket section. They just like put it on the little curb or like put it between 2 cars and stuff. I mean, I do it. I try to put it back in the basket thing, but sometimes I'm lazy, so then I don't do it. One cool yet creepy thing was that, okay, so there's 2 suspension bridges in Vancouver. There's the Capilano Bridge, then there's the Lynn Canyon Bridge. The Capilano Suspension Bridge is a paid bridge, so I think you pay like $20. Lynn Canyon, free, so you know which one I chose, free. And when you get there, there's like an ecological center, so I walked through there. There's a lot of little exhibits. I think they're mainly for kids, but I'm like a big kid inside when it comes to those things. So I went around like pushing buttons and opening little doors. And one of the things was like this weird, push this button to hear how this particular bear sounds. And like I pushed it and it was really quiet in there. And it was like, I'm so embarrassed. I wasn't sure if I was gonna go because it was raining a lot, but I was like, you know what, I love rain and it's fine if I get a little wet. I was just like a little concerned because going on a suspension bridge in the rain, I wasn't really sure like what to expect. Is it open on the sides or whatever, because I don't want to slip and fall to my death. That's not something I want to do in Vancouver. So after I walked through the ecological center, I walked down to the suspension bridge. Of course there are people there, couples and stuff, and doing their Instagram thing, making poses and walking across the bridge and then looking back like they just happened to look back at this perfect timing. I'm a patient person, so I just kind of like walked around at like the beginning of the bridge. There's these other sections that you can walk down these stairs and just kind of walk towards the stream. Lots of trees. There's like a waterfall on this side. So once those people crossed the bridge though, the bridge was totally free. I think because it was a rainy day that a lot of people didn't want to go visit there. So it worked out in my favor. I have so much chocolate and almonds in my mouth. I was able to take some videos going across the suspension bridge, and it wasn't scary at all. It wasn't like rocking or swinging. Like you could jump up and down and it would bounce up and down, but it's really secure with these like really thick metal ropes. It's like very secure. And people were like legit walking across like freaking out. I was like, calm down. It's enclosed on the sides. The thing that was the most spooky to me is how many signs and stuff that they warned you about bears and what to do if you get attacked by a bear, and that you should be bringing like a whistle and like locking up your food in a canister. And like, whoa, I'm totally not prepared for this. It was so pretty just to look down and see the rushing streams and just the beauty of the trees and nature. And it was really quiet because, like I said, there was hardly anybody there. So I got across the bridge, and then there was a fork where you could choose to go up to these streams or down to these other streams. I think this is a winner. I don't think I needed to go to the Capilano one, but I mean, I've never been, so if you know, leave it in the comments if it's better. But I mean, come on now. Started to walk up, and then I was like, I'm really not prepared for this. So I walked up a good ways. I started to get a little uneasy about how far I had walked away from the suspension bridge. So I walked back down, and then I was like, okay, well, let me go in this fork to see just how it was, because it had like more like boards on the ground, and like it looked like it was more for like tourists to go down. So I walked down, and I still didn't come across anything specific, but I don't know. I just started getting that little like tiny panic feeling of like, what if a bear just rolls up? I mean, it'd make for a great video. I'd probably go viral and be like super YouTube famous, but if I died, that would defeat the purpose. So I was just like, if a bear just rolls up on me, first thing, I'm gonna turn my camera on. Probably not the smartest move, but I'm definitely doing that. And then I'm gonna like do like the sign says and make a lot of noise, like just really like, rah, like let him know who's boss. I talk a big game, but if it really happened, I don't know. My instinct would be to just run away, but I don't think you're supposed to do that. I think you're supposed to just puff out your chest and just be bigger than life. And also, I was thinking like I could be like the real Tarzan-esque, like where I would just like command the animals to just do what I want and just be like, I have dominion over you. And like, that's a great thought in my mind that I would like to believe. But like, if he like swiped his paw, you know how bad that would hurt? Oh my gosh. Or like if he tried to maul me and like all he would have to do is just like rip out my neck with his teeth. Like that'd be a terrible way to go. Maybe he would be like Yogi Bear, where he would just be like, hey, you want to have a picnic with me? I don't know. Like bears aren't something to mess around with, and the way they had all their signage, it was something to think about. I kept walking, but then I just started getting like that feeling like maybe this isn't a good time to do this. Like if I had somebody with me, or if I was better prepared, maybe I would have kept going. Plus it was raining and I was like, okay, I've seen the beauty. I've seen it. It's great. I highly recommend Lynn Canyon Suspension Bridge. Now, the final thing I want to talk about is something that happened to me when I was driving around a neighborhood looking for a place to park to go to sleep for the night, because I've been sleeping in residential areas. I'm really picky about where I park. I don't want to park directly in front of somebody's house, so I always try to look for like a corner unit or like a place that has like bushes on the side, so it's like I'm not blocking anybody. So I drive around a little bit slowly through these neighborhoods looking, and so I was driving around this one neighborhood, and I think I must have circled back a couple times because I was kind of getting lost in some of the streets, and I saw this tall, lanky dude. He looked creepy AF. Just like had like this hoodie, like everything, he was like dressed in black, and he just looked like a cyborg to me.
If you don't want to get chased by a cyborg, you need to hit the subscribe button right now and the notification bell, and you might as well just hit the like button too.
So I saw him just walking, and then I didn't think anything of it. And then I ended up circling back around to that area again. And then when I was driving past him, he just like gave me like this mad dog look. And when I started to drive away, I was driving slowly because I was still looking. And he was just like staring my car down. And then he just broke off into a full speed run after my car. And I was like, oh, this dude is serious. I'm like, oh my God, this is flipping crazy. It was super scary, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm in a car, but his vibe and his determination to try to like catch me was creepy. It was kind of like the vast zombies on World War Z, where they were just like in a full-on run and they were just really like focused on getting you, and or like on Matrix where Mr. Anderson is just like running like towards you, or is that Terminator? I don't know, one of those movies where it's just like they're like a cyborg. They have no emotion and they're just running towards you with a determination to kill you. And it was very creepy. And my heart was pounding so fast, and I was just trying to drive fast to like get out of there, and I didn't know the streets, and it was just crazy. I was freaked out. This person's gonna track me down and kill me. So every turn I made, I was like, oh my gosh, am I gonna see this kid just running after me? Like, is this the way it's gonna end for me? Like, I'm gonna die from a cyborg attack? I don't know. So I did not stay in that area that night. Clearly, I just like took off to like the other side of that city, and I just found a place to sleep. But even when I went to sleep, I was a little shaken. I was like, that is so weird. Like to have somebody chasing you in the dark. Like this was pitch dark too, and there's like all these creepy like wooded trees and a little bit like foggy and stuff because it was nighttime, and it was just that feel. So that's been the only real time that I was actually freaked out trying to go to sleep in a residential neighborhood. Mostly I would say that Vancouver is a beautiful place. Even their city is a really pretty place. Like all the buildings are like shiny silver buildings. It looks like a sparkly Christmas scene, bright and light, and it just is so nice. And just going over the bridge, somewhere that I would highly recommend, because not only did they have beautiful scenery, but their food was delicious too.